Detailed timeline of how the operation unfolded, beginning with the launch of India's fighter jets, including the French-made Rafale. At around 1:28 in the morning, India initiated precision missile strikes on 9 high-value targets located in Pakistan or Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. These targets reportedly included key locations such as Bahawalpur, the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, Murik, known to house Lashkar-e-Taiba facilities, as well as Tara-Kalan, Sialkot, Bhimber, Kotli, and Muzaffarabad. The Indian Air Force deployed Rafale jets armed with Scalp cruise missiles and Hammer precision-guided bombs. The entire aerial operation lasted approximately 23 minutes, conducted with high coordination and speed. Between 1:28 and 1:51 a.m., loud explosions were reported across several cities, with power outages occurring in Bahawalpur and Muzaffarabad, adding to the chaos and confusion on the ground. The strike was believed to have originated primarily from Ambala Air Force Station in Haryana, one of Indian Air Force main Rafale bases. At approximately 2 in the morning, a formation of Rafale fighter jets equipped with Storm Shadow air-launched cruise missiles took off from possibly Ambala under radio silence. The Rafale, with its long-range and stealth-friendly profile, ascended to high altitude and maintained an oblique flight path toward the international border, skirting radar coverage while staying within Indian airspace. At around 100 to 120 kilometers from the Indo-Pak border, the Scalp missiles were launched toward pre-programmed coordinates inside Pakistan's interior, reportedly targeting infrastructure tied to cross-border terror logistics. Given the Scalp range of over 500 kilometers, the French Rafale did not need to enter Pakistani airspace, and the missile likely traveled at low altitudes, using terrain-hugging guidance to evade enemy radar before striking with high accuracy. Simultaneously, a secondary wave of Rafale aircraft armed with Hammer, highly agile modular munition extended range, bombs was deployed for tactical strikes on forward positions near the line of control. These jets, possibly taking off from Ambala as well or forward operating strips in Jammu, launched the Hammer bombs from a standoff range of approximately 50 to 70 kilometers, targeting bunkers and movement corridors near areas like Kotli and Bhimber. These precision bombs are capable of penetrating hardened shelters and were likely used to neutralize fortified shelters believed to house militant operatives or weapons caches. At roughly the same time, Sukhoi Su-30 fighter aircraft were launched from Bareilly Air Force Station. They might be carrying air-launched variants of the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. The Sukhoi Su-30 followed a different trajectory, sweeping further south and west, before launching BrahMos missiles aimed at key logistical nodes, including suspected weapons dumps and radar installations supporting asymmetric warfare. The BrahMos, flying at speeds over Mach 2.8, reduced enemy reaction time drastically, hitting targets that lay up to 400 to 500 kilometers inside Pakistani territory. With the Su-30 extended range, the aircraft could complete the mission and return without crossing hostile airspace. In support of these air missions, a network of loitering drones, possibly indigenous ALFAs or Israeli Skystriker units, was deployed from mobile forward launchers near Rajouri and Poonch. These unmanned systems were launched hours earlier and had been circling their assigned target areas. Once real-time signals confirmed enemy movement or leadership presence, these kamikaze drones dove on their targets, causing localized but critical damage, particularly to mobile radio stations and a command vehicle convoy reportedly en route to a hardened shelter. Unconfirmed reports emerging from the region suggest that Pakistan mounted a swift and forceful response following a recent escalation, allegedly resulting in the downing of 5 Indian aircraft. According to statements attributed to Pakistani military officials, the assets targeted included 3 Dassault Rafale fighter jets, a Sukhoi Su-30, a Mikoyan Mi-29, and an Israeli-made Heron drone. But before we move ahead, let's take a look at how this French-made Scalp missile works. Storm Shadow missiles can be launched from the Dassault Rafale, the Eurofighter Typhoon, and most recently the MiG-29 or the Su-27 jets, as shown here in the animations. It is a low-observable air-launched cruise missile. Interestingly, the development of the Storm Shadow missile is also known as Scalp EG in France. Comparing this to a person will help you understand its size. Even better, let's compare this to the American cruise missile or the Russian missile. For now, we will look at the step-by-step format of how this works. aircraft releases the missile. After a few seconds, the missile opens its two wings. It first uses inertial and GPS for guidance at the first stage of the missile. Drops to low cruising altitude and identifies its position using GPS, just like the animation shown here. As you can see, it flies below the radar and close to the hills and ground. This is why the Pakistan Army radar could not detect the Storm Shadow missile. At the final stage, a thermal homing head and a terrain contour matching are used to guide the missiles. This is how it works. It uses the IR sensor imaging infrared seeker to track and process images, helping it glide to its target. It climbs to a higher altitude. This helps the command and control to even monitor the target in the dark using a two-way data link. For the final maneuver, the nose cone is jettisoned to allow a high-resolution thermographic camera or infrared homing to observe the target area. The missile then tries to locate its target based on its preloaded data information. If all is approved, it then dives to destroy the target. But let's